The flashing lights hit my window before sunrise. 2 police cruisers parked in my driveway. The lead officer's hand hovered near his belt like I was some kind of threat. I stood there in my slippers, coffee mug in hand, the logo of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers staring back at me. Behind the cruiser stood Deidre Kensington, the self-appointed queen of Pinewood Estates, arms folded, designer sunglasses hiding that smug grin. For hours earlier, she had called 911 claiming a possibly armed squatter was refusing to leave HOA property. Except the land she was talking about was mine, bought 6 months ago, paid in full, deed in hand. Classic swatting move. My name's Garrett Hollins, 54, divorced, 2 kids in college, 20 years in the Army Corps before settling in Tulsa. I'd spent a lifetime dealing with bureaucrats and battlefields, but I never expected both to merge in a quiet Oklahoma suburb. I bought 3.2 acres just outside the HOA's jurisdiction, confirmed by survey and county maps. I wanted peace, a place to build my workshop, fix machines, and breathe. But a month after I moved in, Pinewood Estates HOA secretly filed new boundary papers, annexing my land without notice. No hearing, no certified mail, just paperwork slipped through the system. When I confronted Deidre, she smiled like a cat with a bird in its mouth. Her first letter came week 1, a $2,500 fine for an unapproved structure. My garage. Week 3, she showed up in person, clipboard in hand, photographing everything. I told her to leave my property. Week 5, another letter arrived, $5,000 plus daily penalties. That's when I realized I wasn't her first victim. My neighbor, Ruben Cortez, retired machinist, brought beer and advice. They bleed you dry, brother. Fines, legal threats, till you give up. He was right. So I called Lucia Brennan, an attorney I'd once helped with her mom's drainage issue. She looked at the documents and said flatly, "Garrett, that's fraud." We discovered Deidre's playbook. Fabricate violations, pile on fees, and foreclose on families who couldn't pay. Then board members bought those homes cheap through shell LLCs. She wasn't managing a neighborhood. She was running a racket. Then came the 7:13 a.m. showdown. The police arrived on her false report. I kept my hands visible, spoke calmly, and laid my paperwork across the hood of the cruiser, deed, survey, dash cam stills of her trespassing. Sergeant Pacheco checked the records, then looked up. "Ma'am," he said to Deidre, "this is a civil matter, not criminal trespass." Deidre's mask cracked. "You're refusing to enforce the law," she snapped. "I don't enforce HOA bylaws," Pacheco said. She stormed off, tires squealing. Pacheco turned to me, voice low, "Document everything. She'll try again." He was right. The letters doubled, then tripled. Fines ballooned. Inspections became weekly harassment. I installed cameras, logged every encounter. Lucia filed a cease and desist and a county complaint. That's when Deidre escalated, a lawsuit demanding I submit to HOA authority. Lucia fired back with counterclaims. Fraud, harassment, abuse of process. During discovery, her paralegal found $140,000 missing from HOA accounts. Deidre had paid herself through a fake management LLC. We weren't just fighting over property lines anymore. We were exposing organized theft. By week 7, 9 families had joined me. One elderly couple faced foreclosure, over $12,000 in bogus fines. A young couple, Travis and Molly, had been billed $8,000 for a backyard swing set. We held a secret backyard meeting, 11 households strong, planning to fight back. Deidre caught wind. The next morning, new special assessments appeared in our mailboxes, $1,000 per month for disrupting community harmony. It was extortion disguised as policy. One night, someone spray-painted "deadbeat" across my garage. Security footage caught a white Lexus RX, Deidre's. I sent the video to Pacheco. "File a report," he said. "That's vandalism." The deeper Lucia dug, the dirtier it got. HOA records showed multiple foreclosures purchased by Deidre's relatives for a half price, flipped later for 6-figure profits. It was a pattern. Fines, foreclose, flip. Lucia updated the case. Federal RICO violations. Deidre panicked. Her lawyer, a strip mall hustler named Trimble, offered a settlement. Drop all fines, erase liens. If I signed an NDA, I laughed. See you in court. But while she schemed, I found something bigger. The HOA itself was in debt, a $1.2 million loan on common property, unpaid for 18 months. Foreclosure was imminent. That's when it hit me. If I couldn't beat the HOA, I could buy it. The morning of the auction was cool and silent, the kind of calm that comes before everything changes. Deidre's white Lexus appeared again in my driveway, but this time there were no sunglasses, no smirk. Her makeup was gone, her voice shaking. "Garrett, please," she said. "If you buy the property, I lose everything, my job, my license, my life." I looked her in the eye. "You should have thought about that before turning 127 families into your personal ATM." At 8 a.m., the county auction began. The auctioneer read the foreclosure details, the HOA's common property, including the clubhouse, pool, and green spaces. Opening bid, $850,000. I raised my paddle. $875. Silence. No other bids. Going once, twice sold. I handed over the check. The HOA's land now belonged to me. Deidre screamed in the crowd that it was illegal, but the auctioneer only shrugged. "Public sale, ma'am." Within hours, Lucia confirmed it. Owning the common land meant I could petition to dissolve the HOA. Under Oklahoma law, if an HOA is insolvent or loses its property, it can be legally dismantled. I just had to prove insolvency, which was easy. Deidre's empire was bankrupt. $1.2 million in defaulted loans, $200,000 in legal judgments, and $250,000 in missing funds. We filed a petition. The story went viral. Veteran buys his HOA, exposes fraud, ran across the Tulsa Gazette, then Reddit, then CNN. Donations poured in to support our legal fight. By the end of the week, $180,000 had been raised. The neighborhood that once avoided me now stood beside me. But cornered animals fight hardest. Deidre launched fake social media accounts accusing me of fraud. Travis traced the IP. It was her home Wi-Fi. Mullery wrote another article. HOA president behind smear campaign. Facebook removed the post within hours. 2 days before the dissolution hearing, Deidre tried one last play. Her lawyer filed an emergency injunction claiming I violated homeowner rights. Judge Vickers denied it in minutes. "This court will not protect fraud," she said. The next morning, the courthouse buzzed with reporters. 60 homeowners packed the room. Deidre walked in pale and trembling, a rookie lawyer trailing behind. Lucia laid out the evidence. Embezzled funds, illegal foreclosures, falsified annexation maps. Then Detective Morrison entered mid-hearing, handed the judge a warrant, and calmly announced, "Deidre Kensington, you are under arrest for felony embezzlement, fraud, and perjury." The courtroom went silent as the handcuffs clicked. Deidre's voice cracked. "You can't do this. He ruined my life." Morrison just guided her out, her perfume replaced by fear. When the door closed, the judge spoke. "This court finds Pinewood Estates HOA insolvent and engaged in systemic fraud. The petition for dissolution is granted." Lucia was appointed receiver, and the homeowners cheered like a dam had finally broken. That night, under the same oak tree that once shaded police cruisers, Reuben handed me a beer. "Brother," he said, "you just took down an empire." But it wasn't just about revenge anymore. Over the next month, Lucia's team proved that Deidre's board had bought foreclosed homes using HOA funds, a closed loop of corruption. 2 board members were arrested. The third turned witness. 3 families got their homes back, deeds clean. A month later, we held a town hall in the old clubhouse, the same place Deidre used for her private parties. Now, 140 people filled the room, neighbors from every background. The smell of new paint replaced the stench of entitlement. I stepped to the podium. 3 months ago, I said, this neighborhood was ruled by fear. Fines, threats, lies. But today we start fresh. No more tyrants. No more secrecy. Lucia explained the new structure, the Pinewood Commons Trust, a community-run nonprofit, to replace the HOA. $45 a month, transparent budgets. Open meetings streamed online. No more fines for garden gnomes or mailboxes. Only genuine safety and maintenance rules. When I showed the slide proving an 88% cut in dues, the crowd erupted in applause. One elderly widow who'd lost her home under Deidre's scam stood up in tears. "You gave me my house back," she said. The whole room stood and clapped for her. That night became a block party. Kids played where inspectors once prowled. Neighbors grilled burgers instead of filing complaints. Reuben clinked his beer to mine. To freedom from petty tyrants. And to never becoming one ourselves, I replied. Months passed. The trust flourished. The community garden produced its first harvest. Scholarships were awarded to neighborhood kids, funded by the damages I'd won in court. Deidre pled guilty to avoid trial. 3 years in prison, $240,000 restitution, and her real estate license permanently revoked. Local papers ran her mugshot beside a photo of our blooming garden. The contrast said everything. Soon, other neighborhoods followed our lead. Oklahoma passed the HOA Transparency Act, requiring open meetings and audits. People started calling it Garrett's Law, though I never wanted credit. One spring morning, I sat beneath that old oak tree again, the breeze gentle, the air finally still. A young couple stopped their car. "Are you Garrett Hollins?" the woman asked. "We just moved here. Our realtor said you're the reason Pinewood doesn't have an HOA anymore." "Thank you." I smiled. "Welcome to the neighborhood." As they drove off, I realized victory wasn't the courtroom or the headlines. It was this. Kids play without fear. Neighbors waving again. People finally free. I came here to build a workshop. Turns out, I built a community worth fighting for.